Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been following the NFL closely, you know that the Washington Commanders are at a fascinating crossroads. We're all eager to see what's next for this team that, just a couple of seasons ago, looked like it was finally turning the corner after years of struggles. But this offseason, things have taken a turn that could reshape their future in ways many fans didn't see coming. One of the biggest stories right now, and I mean big, is the ongoing contract saga with one of their star players, wide receiver Terry McLaurin. Yeah, McLaurin, the guy who's been the heartbeat of Washington's passing game over the last few seasons, especially after a breakout year that saw him dominate as a top-tier receiver. You see, McLaurin isn't just a talented receiver, he's become a symbol of hope and consistency for the franchise. Since entering the league in 2019, he's been the go-to guy, the reliable hands on the outside, and a leader in the locker room. Last season, he truly hit his stride, catching over 200 yards, scoring multiple touchdowns, and proving that he can be a game-changer whenever the ball is in his hands. And let me tell you, that season wasn't just good. It was the best of his career so far, and it came at a critical time for Washington, who's been trying to rebuild and find their identity. That season also marked one of the most successful years in decades for the Commanders, as they made some noise in a very competitive NFC East, a division that's been dominated by some big-name teams in recent years like the Eagles and Cowboys. But here's where things get complicated. As much as Washington fans love McLaurin, as much as they see him as a cornerstone of the offense, the contract negotiations have hit a snag. And why? Well, it all boils down to money. McLaurin is expected to demand a top-of-the-market deal, something in the realm of the highest-paid wide receivers in the league. That's not shocking, given his production and potential, but the Commanders are in a tricky spot financially. You see, the team's management has been cautious about committing huge money to one player, especially when they're also trying to improve other parts of the roster, like the pass rush and the offensive line. The tension between the player and the organization has been palpable for months now, fueling rumors and speculation about whether McLaurin might be traded before the season even starts. And if you look at the broader picture, it makes sense from the team's perspective. Washington's management is eyeing the future, and moving on from McLaurin could free up significant cap space. That financial flexibility could be used to bolster the defense, which, let's be honest, is a major area of concern. Last season, the pass rush was inconsistent, and losing Dante Fowler Jr., who had double-digit sacks, left a void that's hard to fill quickly. The defense needs a serious upgrade, and perhaps that's the real motivation behind all these talks. Trading McLaurin might seem like a bold move, but it could be a strategic one if it means bringing in a game-changing player on defense. Now, this is where the story takes an even more intriguing turn. I recently came across some interesting speculation from Fox Sports' David Hellman, who linked the Commanders to a potential blockbuster trade involving none other than T.J. Watt, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year from the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's right, Watt, a player widely regarded as one of the best edge rushers in the league, could be on the move if the right deal comes along. And surprisingly, Hellman suggests that a trade that would send McLaurin to the Steelers in exchange for Watt could make a lot of sense for both sides. Why? Because it would address their biggest needs. For Washington, acquiring Watt would instantly bolster their pass rush, giving head coach Jack Del Rio or whoever is calling defensive plays a true game wrecker on the edge. Watt's ability to get to the quarterback, disrupt passing lanes, and set the tone for the entire defense is unmatched. And as Hellman pointed out, Watt still has a few prime years ahead of him, about 2 or 3 before he hits free agency. That's a crucial window for Washington to build a formidable defense, especially considering they're also trying to maximize the rookie contracts of players like quarterback Jaden Daniels, who's entering his second season and is seen as the franchise's future leader under center. From the Steelers' perspective, Losing Watt would be a blow, no doubt. But if they're in a rebuild or just looking to shake things up, trading Watt might be a necessary move to get some financial relief or to acquire draft capital. The Steelers are notoriously cautious with their cap, and if Watt's trade value is high, especially after a season with over 10 sacks, they might consider it. Plus, it would be a bold statement for Washington to land such a premier defender, signaling that they're serious about competing now and not just building for the future. And let's not forget the quarterback angle in this hypothetical scenario. If McLaurin is traded to Pittsburgh, he'd be teaming up with a familiar face, quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, who's been chasing another Super Bowl ring in what looks like could be his last big run, would finally have a true weapon on the outside. McLaurin's speed, route running, and ability to make contested catches would fit perfectly into Rodgers' game, giving the veteran QB yet another reliable target. That pairing could be electric, and it might be exactly what Rodgers needs to make one last deep playoff run, potentially culminating in another Super Bowl appearance. Of course, the trade rumors also highlight the fact that both teams would have to give up key pieces of their recent success. For Washington, losing McLaurin would be a blow to the offense, a player who's been a model of consistency and a fan favorite. For the Steelers, parting with Watt would mean losing their most dominant pass rusher, a cornerstone of their defense for years. But in the NFL, sometimes you have to make bold moves to shake things up, and this hypothetical trade would be a seismic shift for both franchises. It's not something that's happening tomorrow, but the mere possibility has fans and analysts buzzing about what could be a game-changing transaction. Looking at the bigger picture, it's clear that both teams are at a crossroads. Washington is trying to balance their desire to contend now with their long-term financial health. They've already added some promising pieces in free agency and the draft, players like Deebo Samuel and some talented rookies, who could step up and fill the void if McLaurin is traded. But nothing replaces the chemistry and production McLaurin provides. On the other hand, the Steelers are trying to maintain their status as a defensive powerhouse, and losing Watt would be a setback, but they might see it as a necessary risk if it means acquiring draft capital or clearing cap space for other moves. This entire scenario underscores how unpredictable and exciting the NFL offseason can be. It's a chess match, with each team trying to position themselves for a Super Bowl run, often making bold decisions that shake up their plans. For the Commanders, the potential to upgrade the defense, especially the pass rush, is a tantalizing prospect. A player like Watt would give their defense a huge boost, making them a legitimate NFC threat. And with the offense already showing promise with young players and new additions, it's easy to envision a team that could be a serious contender if they can solve their defensive issues. Now, as fans, we all want to see our team succeed, to see Washington finally break through and make a deep playoff run, maybe even reach the Super Bowl again. But these negotiations and potential trades remind us that the NFL is a business first and foremost. It's about making tough calls, sometimes sacrificing a beloved player to build a better overall roster. The upcoming weeks will be crucial, and we're all on the edge of our seats waiting to see how this story unfolds. Will McLaurin stay? Will he be traded? And if so, what kind of player will Washington bring in to fill that void? Or will they decide to keep him and make a run with the current squad? These questions will define the offseason and perhaps even the future of the franchise for years to come. And I know that for us, dedicated Commanders fans, it's a roller coaster of emotions. We want stability, we want success, but we also crave those exciting moves that could propel us into the upper echelon of the league. The NFL is unpredictable, and that's part of what makes it so thrilling. We're all hoping that whatever happens, it's in the best interest of the team and the fans who have stood by Washington through thick and thin. The potential of a trade like McLaurin for Watt or something similar might sound wild now, but in the NFL, these are the kinds of moves that define eras. It's about making bold choices, about taking risks, and about believing in the vision of a team that's aiming higher than ever. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So in summary, folks, the current situation with Terry McLaurin is more than just a contract dispute. It symbolizes the larger strategic moves that Washington might be considering to elevate their team. Whether it's by trading a star receiver for a premier defensive player or by holding onto their key assets and trying to make a deep playoff push, the choices they make now could shape their destiny for the next few seasons. It's a fascinating chess game, and as fans, we're right in the middle of it, watching every move, analyzing every rumor, hoping that our team comes out on top. The NFL offseason never disappoints, and the Commanders are certainly in the thick of it. Looking ahead, the next few weeks will be critical. Will Washington pull the trigger on a blockbuster deal? Will McLaurin's contract saga end with a new deal, or will he be heading elsewhere? And what about Watt? Will he stay in Pittsburgh, or will the stars align for him to become a Commander? These are the questions that keep us glued to our screens, eagerly awaiting the next chapter in this ongoing story. And no matter what, one thing is certain: the NFC East is about to get even more interesting. The balance of power could shift dramatically, and that's what makes this league so exciting to watch. To all of you who have stuck with me through this deep dive, I want to remind you to stay engaged, stay passionate, and keep supporting your team. Washington Commanders fans are known for their resilience and loyalty, and this offseason is just another chapter in that long story of perseverance. Whatever happens, we'll be here, covering it all, breaking down the moves and sharing our insights. Because at the end of the day, this is what being a Commanders fan is all about: standing together, dreaming big, and believing that one day we'll see our team back on top, hoisting that Lombardi trophy once again. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news.